Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know me by now, my name is James and I run a courier company called Fletcher Limited. And I'm going to give you a rundown of this week. It's now Saturday, so the week is obviously finished. We've got no weekend work booked at the minute, but it's been a half decent week, so let's talk about it. So Monday, I was still suffering a little bit. Me and wifey had been ill all day Sunday, but Monday morning I woke up and I knew I had stuff to do. I didn't have a job on, but I had stuff to do. So I was storing a cabinet and a pallet in my container from the week previously, which my customer needed back in their warehouse. So I shot over to the container, loaded it on. Obviously, pump truck and tail lift comes in very handy. Got it back over to my customer, dropped it off, and I thought, right, that'll do me for now. Got home and I looked at the van and I thought, my God, that is filthy. It's disgusting. I've not had a chance over the weekend to wash it because I've been ill. I'm going to wash it. I still don't feel right at this point, but I washed it. Whilst washing it, we did have another van out. So I did have a job on that day. It was booked out previously. It had been booked out the week before. So the van in question was one of the lads out of the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, lads. And that was a Derby to Widnes curtain side run. And because I had decent money on the job, I paid over the odds and paid a decent rate for it. So the job was 75 miles, and in the end we paid £2.33 a mile. That's fine. As long as I've got the money on it, the drivers have got the money on it. Do you know what I mean? If I've got good money, the drivers get paid better. That's just how it works. Whilst I was washing the van, I got a phone call about a job for Tuesday. Needed loading Monday afternoon, 3 o'clock in Rosendale. So I thought, I'll go and do that myself. At the time, I had nothing booked on for Tuesday either. So I shot on over to Rosendale, got loaded. There actually wasn't that much stuff. They did book they wanted an extra long wheelbase, which obviously the Luton's 4.2 metres anyway, so it covers that. And there wasn't much weight in it. But when I got there, it probably would have gone on a short wheelbase. It would have been like stacked quite a bit in short wheelbase, but weight-wise and volume-wise, I think it would have fit. But anyway, I did that. So that leads us on to Tuesday. Tuesday, 2 drops in London. That's what I picked up. Traffic was a pain getting to London in the morning. I left with enough time. Well, I always leave early. As you know, I've mentioned it a few times. I always leave and give myself good time. So I was supposed to be my first drop in London at 7. The drops weren't timed. They were just early morning, really. So I actually ended up getting there about 8:30, 9:15. Just absolutely ridiculous traffic. So I got the first one off. The second one was only a few miles away. Got that off nice and easy. And I did have customer jobs booked for the day, so I went and did that on the way back, which worked out really well. So I had a collection from Northampton back to Manchester. Whilst that was going on, though, we had a job from Lutterworth going back to Stockport, which was the other half of the collection I was doing, but at the time it wouldn't all go on one vehicle. So I sent a curtain side in to pick that up. That once again was from the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, lads. That was 119 miles. Didn't have as much money on that job, but it still paid a decent rate, I think. It paid £1.64 a mile. Wednesday comes around, and I had a shocker. So Wednesday I was booked to do a site clearance in Penrith. Site clearances, I prefer doing them myself because I don't mind getting stuck in, and I've sent a fair few drivers now, CX drivers mainly, that have a right good moan and end up in a bitching match basically with the riggers on site. If they're still busy, I'll load myself. If they're not busy, they help load. Simple as that. It's great. They didn't want me there till 10. I prefer being on site first thing. So I left the house at 7, which should have got me there at 9. I got there at midday. 5 hours. It took me 5 hours to do 105 miles. Because if you didn't see, on Wednesday, the M6 North was shut. The diversion took us down an A road. So it went from 4 lanes of motorway traffic to 1 A road, and it was utter chaos. Luckily enough, the drive back was fine. I got back in good time. But my God, that was horrendous Wednesday. Wednesday, we also had a CX driver out, and that was doing a job from Hull to Widnes. It was booked as a short wheelbase. It was 119 miles, and that paid £1.09 per mile. So I was supposed to be rushing back Wednesday to get loaded for Thursday. All the kit was there. It's the stuff that we picked up on Tuesday. It was all there waiting for me, plus a bit more. We're going to strip it all off the pallets, get all the boxes on the back of the van ready for delivery down to Newport, South Wales. And I'm 5 minutes away from delivery of the clearance and collection of this kit, and I get a phone call. Job's been cancelled. The entire site's been cancelled. Oh, what a nightmare. So I did have another job on for Thursday, but I'd already booked it out at this point. I booked it out about an hour earlier with one of my YouTube buddies, one of the Courier lads, and it was only a small van job anyway, so there wasn't massive amount of money in it for me to do it in a Luton. Thursday comes around, and I've got nothing to do. My other lad, he was doing the job from Lutterworth, small van to Stockport, 119 miles, and that paid £1.09 a mile. Me, I was taking Freddie to school, and as I'm walking back to the car after dropping him off, I got an email, and it was just a load of pictures of rubbish, and I thought, oh gosh, where is this? And then I got another email. It's in Ascot, and they forgot to book me for a clearance. Oh. And as I mentioned, I prefer doing all the clearances myself for plenty of reasons. And the email said they wanted the clearance in the afternoon, around 3 p.m. And I made the call to the customer and said, is this right? Is this for today or is this for tomorrow? Or what's going on? He said, well, the site finished on the 31st of Jan. We forgot about it. The site provider's not too happy. The lads are back on site today doing some snagging and fixing of little bits that weren't completed. And they're going to be there till about 2 o'clock. And we want you to do it. Can you get down there? Yes. Went home, had a shower, got changed, got in the van, got fueled up, and I got my foot down. And I got there at about 1:30. Got the van loaded. It was a hell of a lot of stuff, but it was mainly lightweight stuff, so it wasn't too heavy. But the van was full, roof all the way to the back doors. Oh gosh. And the original plan was I was going to offload that myself that night at about 7 p.m. into a skip. Then there was other stuff that I couldn't put into the skip, so that would have had to go back to my container. And it just turned into a bit of a logistical nightmare. So instead of doing that, I decided Friday morning I'd do the offload. So drove straight home, got home about, I think it was about 10 to 7, which meant I got to see the kids, put them in bed, which was good. And then Friday morning, I went on my merry way over to Stockport, nice and early. They agreed to come in early to help me get offloaded. So I got there at 6:30. I was offloaded for about 7:15, and ready to leave. So that brings us on to Friday. Friday was a decent day. There was a fair bit on. So, me, like I just said, I offloaded the rubbish, and then I shot down to Lutterworth to pick up the equivalent of about 5 pallets to bring back up to Stockport, which was going to be my job for Monday. Then another part of that kit needed picking up from Bristol. One of the lads at the WhatsApp group said he can do it, so he was based down there anyway. He did that collection. It was literally 2 boxes, small van job, 169 miles, and that paid the equivalent of, well, it did. It paid £1.06 per mile, so still a decent rate. There was more kit than he picking up. Once again, one of the lads in the WhatsApp group said he could do it. He's based in the area. That was Northampton back to Stockport. That was for a long wheelbase. That was 3 pallets. Well, 2 pallets, but one was a double length pallet, so the equivalent of 3 pallets and a couple of boxes. That's 144 miles. He did that for 125 a mile. And now CX drivers. We had a CX driver doing a job from Cardiff to Widnes. That was a long wheelbase as well. Customer requested a Sprinter. Normally if he says a Sprinter, it's anything 4 metres or above. 191 miles, and that paid £1.09 a mile. That was just the quotes I was getting. I actually got quotes of 80p a mile to do that job, but the feedback was horrendous. New drivers, not been on the exchange that long, more negatives than positives for co-loading, for just bad timing and stuff like that. It was horrendous, honestly. Now the next job was a bit more of a tricky one. From time to time, a customer approaches me to do furniture moves. We don't do them very often, and they always request the same driver. It's a CX driver, but I've got his number saved in my phone now. So I shoot him a text to see if he can do it. He says, yeah, is it similar to last time? It's slightly different this time. It's not going to a house. It's going to an establishment. It's going to a club. And it's slightly different stuff. It's not furniture. It's like lockers and stuff like that this time. And he said, yeah, that's no problem. Sounds all right. And so that was the original plan. And he was booked to do that. And then I got a call saying plans changed a little bit. Instead of just handballing it all onto his Luton, handballing it all off the Luton, they're going to have a fork truck on each side. So we're going to put it on pallets. But that means we can't get everything on the van. So he's going to have to do 2 trips. Is that all right? I asked the driver. He said, yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine. No worries. Better than the handball, innit? So I said, yeah, no worries. It's probably going to take about the same amount of time, though. But there's going to be no handball. And you're going to have a bit of extra more mileage. So if you need any more money, let me know. And he did ask for a little bit more. So eventually that job took 5 hours, total 90 miles. So for the mileage, it worked out at 188 a mile for the Luton. Or if you're working off time, which you do really, you work off time a bit more when it's these shorter, like lengthy jobs, it works out at £34 an hour. So not too shabby at all. The final job for Friday was done by another one of our YouTube buddies. It was done by the Scottish hero up there. So Northampton to Glasgow, short wheelbase, 370 miles, and that actually worked out at £1.10 a mile. Now, we had to do a bit of bartering because I actually offered him more money and he knocked me down saying, no, don't be daft, you're getting me home anyway and I want to do it for this much. And in the end, we actually met in the middle, so it's the complete opposite to a normal negotiation. Obviously, the shipper's normally trying to give less money, the driver's normally trying to get more. This was the complete opposite way around. But he is a very good buddy of mine, and I think he still got good money for that. And it got him home on a very good paying day already that he was already having. So I think he was happy, and he's got his first job for Monday morning because that's delivering Monday morning. That was the first week in February, and that totaled 14 jobs. The driver's cost for the company was £1,740 to pay the drivers, and the mileage that everyone covered to cover them jobs, everyone did to cover them jobs, not including any dead mileage, obviously, to get anywhere, because that was a lot of dead mileage for me in particular. It was around 2,234 miles. But that's not all. Like I said, on Friday we were doing a lot of collections to come bring back, and it was our job for Monday. It was originally my job for Monday, but it wouldn't fit on my van. When the kit started coming in, we realised there was a hell of a lot more than expected. It was going to need another van, and at first it was like, oh, we'll get a small van or a short wheelbase, and it should fit the majority on my van. And in the end, we needed a Sprinter. But it worked out really, really well, because the driver that did the Northampton collection and brought it to Stockport was still parked down the road. I needed a backload home. So he very kindly did the like 200-yard drive back to the yard, got loaded up, and I will be delivering with him in Windsor on Monday morning. He's got a full van, I've got a full van. It's going to a marina, going to be a fun one, and he's getting very similar money to what he get coming down, around 125 a mile. So yeah, it for the first week of February, I'm very pleased with that. I didn't work on Monday, and originally on, I think it was, what day was it? Wednesday or Thursday, I wasn't supposed to be working. I was supposed to be taking Freddie to school and then having the day at home, helping wifey sort some stuff out. But that Ascot job came on, and obviously I've got to jump on that and get the money in, because that's what we do. First week back in February, and to be fair as well to January has been a decent month for us. It's not been as slow as usual. I think in the nearly 4 years the company's been going now, January, that's actually been one of our busiest, which is fantastic. I was speaking to a good friend of mine the other day. He is, in December, bought a brand new van for his company. They now run 4 vans, 3 Lutons, and 1 extra long wheelbase man. And honestly, he said this has been our best January ever. I'm hoping it stays like this for the rest of the year, because if it does, things are definitely looking up, and it pays for that brand new van that he's bought. Me, on the other hand, I am constantly sat there looking at other vans, second-hand vans, just to get another van on the road. Mid to end of this year, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can make it happen. If I don't, honestly, I'll be a bit disappointed in myself. I need this year to be a big year. The last nearly 4 years have been building, struggling, problems with vans, getting the Luton, problems with Luton, and this year I just want it to be a busy year. The video I made recently about the new customer coming on, and they actually passed our details on to another customer. I've had quite a few back and forths with them. Unfortunately, some of the work they were asking us to do we can't do because of certain levels of qualifications. That's why it is always a good idea to constantly be upgrading yourself and getting more qualifications in. And it was to do with airline work actually that we couldn't do because we're not certified to do it. Obviously we do know somebody certified to do it, but he's not available as much as I would have needed him. It would have been daily, and then it would have been, we would have to be expanding rapidly to fulfill what they needed. So unfortunately I couldn't cover that section of work, but we are still in discussions about moving some ADR stuff and some other stuff. So fingers crossed that comes on soon and things get busier. And honestly, if you are out there and you are thinking about moving to a different courier company, give us a shot, because we honestly, I do go over the top and do as much as I can to make sure that the job goes perfectly. We've had some right cock-ups in the past with really bad drivers, mainly off the CX. I mainly use the WhatsApp lads, they're all mint. Do as much as I can myself. Obviously I want to expand my own company, I want to get my own drivers. That's the next steps, and that is going to ensure that the quality of the work gets done even better. Because why not? I want Freddie Fletcher Limited to grow year on year from now on. Vans, drivers, customers. We can do it. We can move anything, and we will move anything. Trust me. It's going to be a good few years coming up. A good lot of years. It really is. I'm excited. I am. I'm currently now back to Asda, so I need to go out and actually do some shopping. So I'm going to love you all and leave you all. Have a great weekend, and I hope February is a cracker for you. Bye bye.